Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report for the day of 1st of August, for the day of 190th. So there is some frontline changes. There is some good news for the Ukrainians, but mostly are still bad news, and some of them are quite tremendous. The Russian captures. So we have frontline changes over at Mfka, Zosneve in the Chasivia, New York front, Timofe, Ivanivka, Vasily, Zeleny, as well as the southern part of Konstantinivka. So we're going to go into Makiivka first. So there is geolocation of Ukrainian forces on the eastern part of Makiivka. This invalidates Russian claims that they are now inside Makiivka. So Ukrainian forces now is confirmed to be at least holding most of Makiivka. Currently, we still have this salient here where the Russians was previously geolocated along the river where they previously have entered in this region. There's a high chance that the Russians are no longer there because it has been too long, and then the Ukrainians likely would have taken back this position, or the Russians have withdrawn due to the inability to hold that position. So anyway, this is the situation at Makiivka. The next frontline change is over in the Bakhmut front. So this is Bakhmut city over here, and Chasivia, and over at the Zosneve region there is this is already first reported in the SIPRAP yesterday. Russian forces geolocated to have crossed the canal as they continue to progress towards Zosneve, which is over here. So this is similar to the situation over just nearby where the Russian forces was trying to push across the canal as well. So we'll continue to monitor and see how this develops in this region here. The next frontline change is over at New York. So at New York City itself, there is some positive for the Ukrainians. Ukrainian forces counterattacked and captured some Russian soldiers at around this position, confirming that the Ukrainians have actually controlled all the way to the Kryvyi River. So that's the current situation around here. There's a high chance that the Ukrainians actually have the entirety of this river front around here. So there is a high chance this is the case, where the Russians actually do not have the beachhead or the bridgehead on the other side of the river. So anyway, that's the situation over at New York City. The next frontline change, we go into the Avdiivka front at Timofe. So at Timofe, the Russian forces have continued the expansion after the capturing of Timofe. They have expanded westward as they captured the entire tree line west of Timofe. And they are now moving towards Lysychny over here, where the Ukrainian forces are holding this village. And there is some interesting situation. There is this potential encirclement of Ukrainian forces around here. It's unclear if there is actually such an embellishment because the Ukrainian mapping put this as a gray zone. And then these two areas here where we have marked as firm Russian control is also firm Russian control on the Ukrainian mapping, on the Deep State US mapping. So there's potentially some kind of a encirclement developing around here, and the Ukrainians may not be able to get out. There is no way out at this moment because it will be shot through. The gap, oops, let me adjust again. The gap is merely around 400 meters. Again, 400 to 500 meters. Okay, let's say we count from the tree line. That's around 600 meters. To the other tree line is around 700. So they can escape, but no, it will be super highly risky. So the Ukrainian forces have to withdraw to escape embellishment, and they will have to get out from the south of Timofe. And this movement is really fast. In my opinion, the Russian forces are taking grounds in this area here on a daily basis. It's super fast. So which means that the Ukrainian lines here is totally collapsed. There is actually no strong or rigid defense line around here. The Russians are making progress. As you can see, the entire area here is just exploding and getting very, very fat. And so the Ukrainians, like I mentioned, have no clear place where their next defense line is going to be, which is why the Russians are making huge progress all over the place. So the south of this location, the Russian forces at Ivanivka has entered into Ivanivka. As mentioned, that the Russians could attack from two different directions, and this exactly had happened. Ukrainian forces did not bother to defend, it seems, as the Russian forces quickly capture the entire tree line and the westernmost part, the easternmost part of Ivanivka. And there is still potential that the Russians is going to push up from the south and start another front from this western part of Ivanivka. So the situation at Ivanivka is terrible, and I'm expecting Ivanivka to fall within the next 2 to 3 days, given the speed of things is developing around here. Nearby at Vasily, Russian forces have captured Vasily. According to the Ukrainian mapping, Deep State UA has confirmed that the Russian forces have captured Vasily. I have already mentioned that this is highly plausible, and indeed what I predicted has come true. Similar with the situation going down the railway, as I mentioned, the Russians, if they continue, is likely to make this happen, and now they can now attack Serhievka and Zeleny at the same time. So this update is concurrent as the Russian forces capture the full tree line along this area here, which builds them a good foundation to attack into the north of Serhievka, quickly collapsing the entire defense at Serhievka, forcing Ukrainians to just run to the next tree line through the center towards Olivka. And which means that the battle of Zeleny is going to start, because the Russians is basically just right at the entrance from the railway line region into Zeleny. And so this coupled with the Russian position in the north means that the Russians is going to attack from two different directions now, confirmed for sure. They're going to do this, and this collapse is just terrible. In the Vasily region, the Russian forces also, since they have captured this area, could also go down the water line through the tree lines and go to Khrodivka, which is the first boss to reaching Pokrovsk. So so whether Khrodivka will be the first line of defense after the collapse of this entire line at Pokrovsk remains to be seen, whether the Ukrainians is going to seriously defend Khrodivka. The fall of Khrodivka will lead to Russians attacking very quickly into the next boss. The next boss is going to be Mirnograd. So Mirnograd over here, which is a bigger city than Khrodivka. So it looks like a bra over here. So that's but it's the imbalanced bra. A bit different from the one at what is this place called? In the north, okay, it's called Soledar. Soledar is a much more balanced bra. So that is what it is. So as in bra, as in BRAH, brother, bra. Okay. So the next frontline change is over in the northeastern part of Zeleny. Russian forces have captured the entire heavy entrenchment south of Voshchev. So this is also where the Russians will now have a position to attack from towards Zeleny. So in the sense that Zeleny could face an attack from basically three different directions, from the north, east, and west. So this settlement is now very close to forfeited. Strategically speaking, basically there is almost no place to run. To no place to really put up a defense. They will have to redraw if the Russians going to pull this off. And they might even redraw it earlier than what the Russians could do, because the Russians is likely going to start the attack into Zeleny first from the railway line. While this is trying to develop, this is still a bit far away. The Ukrainians may just redraw immediately towards Novo Zelen, because this is the old Zeleny, this is new Zeleny. So they may want to go to the new one, since the old one is a bit dirty now. So anyway, this situation continues to develop in a very negative way for the Ukrainians. This frontline updates, these changes is just too fast. It's just way too fast. If this is not collapse, I don't know what is collapse. Like, I have to repeat again. This is a collapse of the front line. We are literally seeing it happen. Where we have reported frontline changes almost daily at this front line. The Russians are pushing every single day.
we only just reported the capture of Timofe Mfka. Now we have the capture of VUHLEDAR. So no, and previously we just have the capture of Pokrovsk and then Voschev, and then we also have Voshot. There's just consistently more and more settlements falling. And I think the next is going to be Mfka or Zelen. Very, very quickly, we're going to see more and more fall. So I think the next will be Mfka, and then we'll probably see Zelen and Mfka fall. Yeah, so no, very, very unfortunate for the Ukrainians, but this is the reality right now for them. Then the last frontline change is over in the Donetsk front, south of Konstantinivka, and this is a shocking one. While I was talking about the Russians having multiple vectors, around five different vectors where they are attacking along this highway. This particular one have succeeded. Russian forces is now geolocated right on the highway. They have planted a flag over there, and this marks the cutting of the highway between VUHLEDAR and Konstantinivka. So VUHLEDAR and Konstantinivka, now this highway is now broken. So this is now unusable right now. And once this is broken, means that the Russian forces can now start to effectively attack even more positions along the highway, and eventually developing a strong front line in this region. And this entire area here is going to fall even faster because they will not have the highway where the Russians is going to have. So, but of course, the highway is only displaced. The next target would then have to be VUHLEDAR, because the Russians would need a city or a foothold for them to use this highway. So anyway, they have this road from Solotke, so probably this is going to be a major target. But anyway, this is a major situation. Crimean Caprice located this with a flag of the Russian Federation installed at a highway, confirming confident control of the Russian forces. So this development is 1.5 kilometers around, and down this tree line, that's very, very fast. That means the Ukrainian defense or no resistance in this region have basically dissolved for some unknown reasons. Maybe it's a trap, maybe it's not. But the Ukrainian forces are not there. They're not there to defend this position. Russian forces now having this foothold is going to complicate the entire strategic situation here. It's just not tactical. It's strategic difference. So anyway, that is it. That's it. These are the frontline changes for the day of the 1st of August. We'll talk more about it in the situation report, and I'll see you guys in the next update.